if you put $20 in, you get $20 back. So, all right, guys, make sure to go check out my guy Kalshi because you can get in on good trades like who will Trump nominate as Fed chair? Will Ali Khamenei be outed as the supreme leader? And will the U.S. confirm that aliens exist before 2027? So if you want to get in on this action, once again, go ahead and go to my partners at Kalshi. Go ahead and use the link, or you can hit the QR code above and use S.E.T Media to go ahead and get $20 when you trade 20. This is S.E.T from S.E.T Media, and shout out to Kalshi. All right, guys, and shout out to Kalshi. Shout out to the partner. And the guys, we are live. Had to remind you. But all right, guys, this is S.E.T with S.E.T Media, man. I'm back with another one for you. All right, we're about to get into a media analysis of what's been going on with the war lately. And then we're going to go ahead and get into a Nick Shirley video about fraud and other things as well. So it's going to be a fun one. So let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video. And let's get right into it with, well, a press engagement from President Trump.
By his side.
Get hit harder, but these are thugs and animals and horrible people. But you can't hit anybody harder than we've hit them. But I'm not surprised. They executed 3 young people for protesting.
And do you plan to escort those ships through the...
No, yeah, that is true. They executed a wrestler who was pretty much protesting, and that's one of the reasons why they executed him. Now, Iran released a statement pretty much saying that, no, he was actually caught, unaliving a police officer in Iran, and that's the reason why he was executed. So, conflicting stories from both sides.
Straight up with or without allies?
We're doing very well there. We're doing very well overall. We don't use the Strait. The United States, we don't need it. Europe needs it. Korea, Japan, China, a lot of other people. So they'll have to get involved a little bit on that one.
Do you still want South Korea supporting United States?
Now, what about it?
Do you still want South Korea supporting?
Well, I love South Korea. We have a great relationship with South Korea. We're helping South Korea a lot.
Mr. President, do you think Israel will be ready to end the war when you're ready?
I think so, yeah. Mr. President, the relationship's a very good one. I think so. We want more or less similar things. You know what we want? We want victory, both of us, and that's what we've got. Well, I may have a plan or I may not, but how would I ever say that to a reporter? If I said that to a reporter, Marco would say, "Please, sir, let's bring you over to the helicopter immediately." Right? No, I can't tell you that. It's certainly a place that's people are talking about, but I can't say. Yeah.
Are you ruling out troops there, though?
Epic Fury affect talks with Russia on Ukraine.
What about it?
Are the talks on back burner right now because of
no, we're talking.
I mean, let's be real. A controversial decision that the administration made was allowing, Russia to get a 30-day license to sell their oils without sanctions, of course. And then now we've allowed certain Iranian oil companies to sell their oil without sanctions as well. So it's kind of like Iran is getting what they want while going to war when, they was willing to not go to war if we just kept the sanctions off them. But it seems like we're keeping the sanctions off them now that they're doing something that we don't want them to do. Insane.
We're talking about it. I think it'll get done.
When do you expect the next round of talks to take place?
They take place almost every day. We're making a lot of progress.
You said that the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that? You said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
So how much longer can the American people expect?
You said opening the Strait of Hormuz is a simple military maneuver.
Very simple.
Yeah, but what did you mean by that?
It's a simple military maneuver. It's relatively safe, but you need a lot of help in the sense of you need ships, you need volume. And NATO could help us, but they so far haven't had the courage to do so. And others could help us, but we don't use it. At a certain point, it'll open itself. At a certain point. But we've defeated the enemy, and they are an enemy. They're a sick, group of people. The leadership is gone. The Navy is gone. The Air Force is gone.
The leadership is not gone. The leadership is still in power. I mean, the Air Force, I mean, yeah, y'all took care of that Air Force. We took care of majority of their Navy, but yet they still got these speedboats to mine the Strait of Hormuz. So trust me, we're not whooping that. We're whooping their ass, but not the way we think we are.
Anti-aircraft equipment that they have, the radar they have is all gone. Everything's gone. The strait itself, the actual strait, how are you? The strait itself is, we're doing a good job, but it would be nice if the countries, including China, if the countries that use it, China uses it 90% of their energy. Japan is 95% of the energy. It would be nice if those countries would get involved. What? I thought she did a good job yesterday.
I mean, I bet you did, because she backtracked on everything she said in her last hearing, like how Iran wasn't an imminent threat and all that good stuff. But now, all of a sudden, Tulsi Gabbard, a lady that pretty much joined Trump because he had an anti-war position, is now pro-war with Iran, who pretty much condemned Trump for getting out of the JCPOA and was telling him to return to the JCPOA, is now saying, you know what, war with Iran is good now. I mean, man, talk about a switch. That is like the craziest switch up right there. And shout out to my man, Lunatic Libertarian, one for the baller alert. He said, I'm sick of the political theater. When will we be done with this continued nonsense? People are losing. Money doesn't matter. These people are not well and need help. Where is human cooperation? It's only in destruction. I mean, yeah, I hear you on that one. And trust me, more people are willing to cause destruction in Iran than to actually get to a peace deal or any type of like negotiation with Iran. And that's one of the main problems as well. We got more people that's willing to cause mayhem and destruction that's willing to come to peace. Ain't that something?
In Europe, Lindsey Graham has asked for you to reconsider the American bases in Spain, in Germany, after what they have done in the Strait of Hormuz. What's your take?
Well, it deserves. He's right about asking that, and I think NATO's gone down a long way because they haven't. I mean, they should be helping with the Strait. They get much of their energy from the Strait of Hormuz, and if Lindsey Graham said that, and don't forget, he was the big NATO guy for a while, and now he's not. And a lot of senators and congressmen, they were big. They're very upset with the fact that NATO has done nothing.
So Pompeo is calling for a ceasefire in the Middle East. Pompeo is calling for a ceasefire in the Middle East and to reopen dialogue. What do you say to Pope?
Well, look, we can have dialogue, but we don't. I don't want to do a ceasefire. You don't do a ceasefire when you're literally obliterating the other side. They don't have a Navy. They don't have an Air Force. They don't have any equipment. They don't have any spotters. They don't have anti-aircraft. They don't have radar, and their leaders have all been killed.
I mean, bro, if we don't come to a ceasefire, they're going to destroy all the oil infrastructure in the Middle East and the water desalination centers. Well, infrastructure. So they're going to destroy the water infrastructure, the oil infrastructure. If we don't get to some type of ceasefire, they're just going to keep going if we keep hitting them. So, I mean, what do you mean you don't want a ceasefire? I mean, I guess he's standing strong on that. I want unconditional surrender, but I don't think we're going to get that out of the Iranians, sadly.
Every level. We're not looking to do that. Thank you.
One more there.
I bet it was a great guy. Wow. That guy in the house where I moved the line was like corner third. Yeah, he was up guard. He was a great guy. He was a really good, tough cookie. We didn't want to fight him. I think he was a tough, great guy, and he was a great supporter. Wow, that's too bad. Tell his family, I
He's trying to walk away.
That's it. At the end there, the president reacting to the news that Chuck Norris has passed away. They were friends. He said he was a great guy. and that he was sorry to hear that news. The president also saying essentially that what they need, and he mentioned this earlier when I spoke with him on the phone earlier today, that he says it's dangerous, certainly, but not that difficult to create a large presence in the Strait if all of these countries got together that use so much of the energy that comes through the Strait. I'm sorry, let's go back. He's answering some more questions. Let's watch.
And it's about time. And frankly, it should have been done long before me. It should have been done before other presidents.
Why did you criticize the president? You took issue with the strike, Mr. President.
Come on, man. It was basically done.
Polls have shown that MAGA is essentially unified behind you, as are Republicans when it comes to Iran.
You know, it's so crazy. And like I said, Tulsi Gabbard held the same position that I held, that Trump should have got back into JCPOA. We'd have had Iran's nuclear capabilities under our watchful eye, and everything would have been good. Once he got out of the JCPOA, we was on the path to war with Iran because we kept escalating past that. Past 2018, yeah, we kept escalating with Iran, and so did they with their nuclear capabilities. So we were playing a tit-for-tat game with them, and Tulsi Gabbard was just crazy that she had that stance in her hearing, but she was one of the main people saying that Trump, you need to get back into JCPOA and you need to get off the war path we need to get off the path to war with Iran. One of the main people saying that.
Reports that the United States might be sending 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. Are you concerned that a move like that could potentially change the unity?
Well, I don't know. I seem to have great support because CNN came out with a poll today that I'm at 100%. And they said they've never seen a poll like that. The CNN poll said I'm at 100%, and they've never seen that before, which is an honor. I was impressed that CNN would do that. But as far as troops are concerned, I can't tell you what we're doing.
Mr. President, you took issue with Australia, Japan, and South Korea this week.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
Very surprised about Australia, and what would you like them to do?
Well, they should get involved, and I was a little bit surprised that they said no, because
why?
We always say yes to them.
Whoa. So you tell me that they should just throw in their soldiers, throw in their military equipment because we got into a war? Could we, bro, they were no better than Israel at that point. So what? Israel dragged us into a war, so now we're just going to latch on to NATO and be like, you're coming with us? What type of bullshit is that? Nobody wants to play that game. I'm sorry. The whole world is looking at us crazy like, look, man, you can follow Israel into a war, but we're not doing it. And I can respect that. It's like, yes, we know that the Strait of Hormuz hurt them as well, but they're not trying to get into a war because of, our America's actions. I mean, that is kind of unfair to try to drag them into this. And this is why they're kind of holding strong. Now, the UK, they're not going to get involved, but they want to let us use one of their bases. And I'm assuming that's what other countries are going to try to help us do as well.
The UK has said that they'll allow the U.S. to use air bases to defend the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, it's been a very late response from the UK. Surprised because the relationship is so good, but this has never happened before. They were really pretty much our first ally all over the world, first ally, and they didn't want us to use the island, the so-called island, which for some reason they gave up rights to it. And I was a little surprised at the UK, to be honest with you. They should have acted a lot faster. Should have acted a lot faster.
Did you think that your former Fed Secretary, Sarah Sanders, was asked to leave a rent?
Do we still have that?
Oh, he does.
Price of oil is way up. Stock market is down.
Gonna go well. Gonna go down. No. We're not giving a nuclear weapon to terrorist thugs, and we're knocking the hell out of them. Their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their leaders are gone, their anti-aircraft is gone, everything's gone. And no, I expected worse, actually. I thought that oil prices would go much higher when I did this. We just set every record in the book, with Dow, with the S&P. Dow at 50,000, S&P at 8,000, 7,000 at levels. at speed like nobody's ever.
Yeah, but they're not doing those numbers no more. So it's kind of crazy how he's bringing that up. It's like, yeah, we had low gas as well. Yeah, the Dow was doing record numbers. S&P 500 was doing record numbers. But guess what? Now those are down. Gas prices are up. So like I said, it's like his economic success is like he's walking backwards. And all for war with Iran when you could have just got them in the same deal as Obama did with stricter enforcement, with stricter, I guess, guidelines on the on the supervision of their nuclear capabilities. You could have did that, and everybody would have been cool and called you a hero and all this good stuff. But full out war with Iran, though, at the risk of the global economy, is wild.
Before. But I said I have to go off from that path and I have to take a little journey. We have to get and he would agree, but he's not going to say it. And this is not St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, God, do me a favor and double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Appreciate your support, by the way, but let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
What are you doing with that guy? But we had to go off on a circuitous path and take care of business, and we are in the process of doing it. And I'll tell you, I think we're weeks ahead of schedule. My Secretary of State is very happy. Do you have a question for Marco?
Yes. How soon? President Trump said this week that he can take Cuba. How soon can that happen?
Well, I mean, Cuba's a disaster, and it's because of their communist government. It doesn't work. So I don't have any news for you on that today, other than that's been going on for 67 years. They're a disaster. It's the worst it's ever been.
And what are you guys hearing from your Senate colleagues about the chances of the Save America Act passing?
Well, it seems to be doing okay. It's voter ID. You have to have citizenship to vote. And I'm hearing very good things. I mean, I was hearing negative things because the Democrats are all against voter ID. They're all against citizenship to vote. They're against transgender. You know, they like the transgender thing with mutilization of your children. All of the things that we talk about. You know, we added two little elements. No men in women's sports, right? You know that. We added that. And when you add them all up, whether you take 4 or 5.
And no transgender surgeries for kids, right? Right, Trump? Not even with the parents' permission, right, Trump? Hopefully it's in there.
I think they're all 95 to 99%.
He's catching heat for that.
I hear it's going, look, it should be an easy pass, but we need Democrat votes. They don't want to approve voter ID because they cheat. They don't want to approve citizenship. In other words, we want to have citizenship in order to vote. You have to prove your citizenship. The Democrats don't want to do that. You know why, Peter? You know why? Because they want to cheat, Peter. Now, speaking of something that's more pleasant, see that? It's going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. Nothing like it. And they just started today one of the biggest pours of concrete that's ever been seen in Washington, D.C.
When they're doing the construction, does it ever wake you up?
It makes me happy.
I'm done.
When I hear those pile drivers, my wife doesn't love it, but I love the sound. I love the sound of concrete. I love the sound of pile drivers.
All right. Now let's go ahead and get into some media analysis on what's going on with the war. Because, yeah. Like I said, we're still going through the short-term pain part of this thing. You know, as right-wing media says, short-term pain for long-term gain.